You know, I thought I'd finally cracked the dating app code. I matched with this guy, let's call him Daniel. His profile was promising. Tall, super cute, and that golden phrase every foodie wants to hear. I love trying new foods. Naturally, I was hooked. So, when he suggested we go for sushi on our first date, I thought, perfect. I mean, I could happily live off spicy tuna rolls for the rest of my life. This guy gets it. So, the night of the date arrives. I get to the restaurant, and to my relief, he looks exactly like his photos. That's a major win in the world of online dating, right? We sit down, the atmosphere is nice, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic. I glance at the menu, but I already know what I want. I order a classic miso soup and a couple of my favorite rolls. Daniel, on the other hand, is staring at the menu like it's written in a foreign language he has never seen before. He's furrowing his brow, flipping the pages back and forth. I figured he was just overwhelmed by the options. Which is fair. After what felt like an eternity, he finally looks up at me with this incredibly serious expression on his face and says, "So, I have to tell you something. I don't actually eat fish." I started laughing because, obviously, that's a joke. Who suggests a sushi restaurant for a first date and doesn't eat fish? But he just stared back at me, completely deadpan. It wasn't a joke. He was dead serious. I was so confused. I asked him, "Then, why did you suggest we come here?" And his brilliant explanation was that he thought sushi restaurants were classy first date spots, and he wanted to make a good impression. A classy spot where he can't eat literally anything on the menu. So, what does this connoisseur of classy dining end up ordering? The waiter comes over, pen poised, and Daniel, with a look of pure confidence, says, "I'll just have a plate of plain white rice." Just rice. Nothing else. The waiter just blinked, looked at me, then back at him, clearly trying to process this request. I was trying my absolute best not to burst out laughing. Daniel. He looked so proud of himself, as if he'd just solved a complex puzzle. So there we were, on our first date. Me, happily enjoying my delicious sushi rolls, and him just shoveling spoonfuls of plain white rice into his mouth like a toddler who refuses to eat his vegetables. It was the most surreal dining experience of my life. The conversation was interesting. He kept trying to steer it towards his sophisticated palate, which now consisted of a single grain. Halfway through his bowl of rice, he looks at me all serious again and says, "Wow, I really like how adventurous you are with your food choices." Adventurous. My friend, I am eating a California roll. It's the least adventurous thing on the entire menu. I just smiled and nodded, because what else could I possibly say to that? I was eating basic sushi, and he was acting like I was on an episode of a food travel show, wrestling an octopus. To his credit, at the end of the night, he insisted on paying for both of our meals. So, technically, he bought me a lovely sushi dinner and bought himself the world's most expensive side dish. It was both sweet and utterly bizarre. Needless to say, there wasn't a second date. When I got home and told my friends the story, they couldn't stop laughing. They immediately nicknamed him Rice Guy. To this day, the legend of Rice Guy lives on in our group chat. And honestly, I can't even pass a sushi restaurant now without cracking up. It just goes to show you really never know what you're going to get out there. So, what's the wildest thing someone has ever ordered on a first date with you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you want to hear more of chaotic and funny dating adventures, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.